Let's move on to Anaku. Anaku, translated, means expressional pivoting form or swallow on the beach. The 5 fundamental elements of Anaku are quick bird-like movements, pivoting, shifting, embusen, which is your foot pattern, and then kionwaza, which is your basic technique. Let's go ahead and I'm going to work the form first, and then I'll go through it again slower, and then we'll break it up into detail and work the self-defense behind it. Anaku. At the ending of the form, we hold, according to the pinnacle, written by Grandmaster Robert Trias, the Morote Chateau in a meditative pose. According to the pinnacle, we hold that for 15 seconds. At a basic or an intermediate level, that's a pretty long time to hold. You hold the breath and let the air circulate through the body. That's called Shinshin Taisha, or dead breath, or sushi, which is the Chinese for the same thing, dead breath. I would recommend, at a basic level, hold for 5 seconds. Then work to 7 seconds, work to 10 seconds, work your way up to 15 seconds. After you run a form, you're pretty, if you run it properly, you're exerted. So it's pretty difficult to hold your breath for that amount of time. But again, it gives you a greater meaning to the form. I'm going to run it again, a little slower this time, and you follow along, or it's going to give you a better chance to follow along with the technique. Anaku. This is the key I point in the form. All right, let's work with some of the opening techniques of Anaku. 1, 2. First motion, middle block, pivot, punch, and punch. There's a basic way we work this. When we talk about basic and advanced, we talk about the omote, or the public level, or the okuden, which is what the hidden techniques within the form. The first part will do perform the okuden, which is what the public sees. Mr. Forrester. Scoot over a little bit. There you go. Mr. Forrest steps in, punches right. 1, here's the block. Bang, bang. 1, 2, disposing of the attacker. So we covered 1, 2. Now we're moving again and going to this side. Mr. Forrester steps in and punches right. Now, instead of blocking on the inside, I'm going to step and block to the outside. From here, I'm going to wrap and work my first strike, that's your tate, and work an armbar at the same time. I'm coming right off the bicep and then also striking to the mandibular angle in here. Notice I didn't grab the hand on this. Notice I didn't grab the hand. Whenever you start grabbing, you slow the technique down. So we worked a wrapping motion off of that. Person steps in again. 1, notice deflect, block or strike, cover, strike, and then back motion here. We can work a finishing move, one, and then from there, bring it around here, Mr. Forrester, and then from there, we can work a arm bar here with an added headlock. Arm bar, headlock, off of that motion. Thank you. All right, let's go on to the next motion. Next motions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mr. Forrester comes with a two-handed grab. I break the grab. He grabs again. 1, 2, 3, knee, and then from there, as I pull back, strike to the cervical spine. And that'll take care of your attacker. Let's do that one more time. Nice and slow. Two-handed grab. 1. He grabs again. Strike right foot, reinforced a Toyuchi or hammer strike to the head. Twist the head, turning the body. Knee to the cervical, or basically to the vertebra. And then as you pull back, twist the head and strike to the cervical spine. I want to work a little more definition on the last technique. After the strike, after the spin, the cervical or the vertebra is, you apply the pressure from the knee to the vertebra. On this last technique, we're going to work a little contusion by, for the cervical spine by working the pull, snapping motion, and the strike. And that takes care of that attacker. From the next movement, after the last technique, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Forrester, come then with a right hand grab. From here, block, punch, punch, grab, kick, step back and punch, or I could step here and work this as a bicep strike to the head. From here, let's turn it around. Our ending technique could be a Hizanagi. 1, 2, 3. Now, this is an incorrect way to hold your head. From here, if he's still alive, he's still awake, conscious, he can strike here. All right? So I pin my head nice and tight and then apply pressure in here, and he will tap out. All right? Let me remind you, when you're working with your opponent, your student or your assistant, make sure you use nice control, and you're responsible for that person's safety. Let's do that again. Yes, sir. Real quick. First steps in and punches. 1. Here's 1, 2, 3. Kick, strike, lift, and take the person down. And then apply any type of finishing movement you would like. All right, next movement in the form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Forrester. Mr. Forrester steps in and steps right, punch, grab left. 1. From here, we can work the first strike, again, as an arm strike, because you can use the whole body as a weapon. From here, the next punch is a pushing or pulling motion. From here, here's our kick to take the person to the ground. There's our strike, and then we'll work this as a finishing move. And choke. You can work various chokes. Then a V choke, you can work a collar choke. One more time. Here's our block. Here's our first punch. Here's our second punch. We can use this as a third punch. We'll use this as a kick. Here's our third punch. From here, that takes that person down. And apply the choke. Collar choke. Works well with that. All right, moving on. Last movement. 1. Here's the new. 3, 4, 5. Mr. Forrester steps in with a two-handed grab. 1, strike. Now here's the hip rotation off that motion. He starts to get up. Bang! We work the strike off of that. So let's try it again. One more time. Forster steps in, two-handed grab. Here's our motion. 1, 2, 3, right, and 4. Takes care of the opponent. All right, review the last technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. New technique. 1, here you go. Double low block, right front kick, strike, block left, right nagashi, execute a left seiken ski, pivot, Murate Shito. Again, Mr. Forster, come forward. On this motion, Mr. Forster steps in with a two-handed grab. 1, 2, 3. I can work the nagashi instead of a block. I can use this as a strike. From here, I step back, apply a kite nagi to a throw. Let's try that again, Mr. Forster. Two-handed grab. 1. One more time. Big grab, Mr. Forster. Big grab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last cover technique. From there, so that's the motion. Let's review one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be the last technique. Mr. Forster will come in with a right hand or left hand to right hand grab. I step back, circular motion, cover. Here's the Murate Shito into an arm bar. The knee comes up. You can work it as a knee to the jaw, Shito to the cervical spine again. Remember, whenever you're striking the cervical spine, and I'm doing a lot of that, it's killing blows. Okinawan, one-punch kill. We have to remember about level of intent. Maim, cripple, kill, or mobilization. Being human beings, we have to live with intent. What is your intent? Of course, our intent is to immobilize. We don't want to hurt another human being, unless, of course, the only time you use your karate is in fair competition, defense of your life or your family's life. And then, of course, look at the level of intent. You would have to live with it the rest of your life. As a bonus, I'd like to run Anaku with the sai. Through any of the forms, as long as you know or working the theory and manipulation within the forms, you can apply any weapons you want. Anaku goes well with the sai. Anaku. Sum up what we've covered so far today is Nahanchi, the Iron Horse Missing Enemy form, and Anaku, expressional pivoting form, or swallow on the beach. To pay attention to the finer details of each form, there's a lot of information in them. You can take one form and work it for 3 years, over and over. When you do work your form, work it reverse, work it on the left side, the right side, and get to know it inside and out. Again, the key is repetition. Nahanchi and Anaku are some of my favorite forms. I hope they become favorite for you. Thank you very much, and good luck with your training.